Are you living in a housing complex, or are you thinking about living in a housing complex in your retirement years? Maybe a multifamily, multi-age environment, or maybe a complex that is for 55 and over, or even a retirement complex for 65 and up. Well, today I wanted to ask you 10 questions that I think that you should consider before you move into a housing complex. Hi, I'm Darlene, and this is Darlene's Retired Life. And on this channel, I discuss things about retirement and my life as a YouTube content creator, in case that is something that you are thinking about doing, or if you already have a channel, then maybe we can grow our channel together. So I live in a housing complex. It's been a little over a year, and this is the first time that I have ever lived in a housing complex before. I've either rented just apartments with 2 or 3 apartments in the building, or I've rented homes, and we have owned our own home. So this is different for us. There's 32 apartments in this building. This building has rules and regulations and its limitations. So let's talk about that a little bit. I wrote down 10 questions that I'd like you to ask yourself. So the first one is, how many floors is in the building that you are considering? The reason why I ask this is because the building here is 3 floors. We are fortunate enough to have an apartment on the 3rd floor. Why in the world would you want an apartment on the 3rd floor? Why wouldn't you want one on the 1st floor, you're asking? Well, we don't have to deal with people above us and the noise that comes with it. This building is brand new. It's only a year old. We are the first ones, we, saying me and the other tenants, are the first ones to move into this building. And I must say they didn't do a very good job, because they didn't put any type of insulation in the flooring, considering that, we have people living below and above us. And yes, I can hear the neighbors below me. They're pretty good at not making a lot of noise. Once in a while, I'll be able to tell if she's like pounding meat for dinner, or if she's talking loud on the phone. I won't be able to make out what she's saying, but I'll be able to hear her. And if her son's playing video games, I'll be able to hear him, yelling at his game. But can you imagine if I was on the 2nd floor and they were above me? I probably would be able to hear them a lot. I can hear them when they come home and their door slams. It's like, oh, they're home, So you have to ask yourself, which floor is the apartment on? Do you mind dealing with people above you? Do you mind dealing with the running of children, or the running of dogs, if your apartment building allows animals? Do you mind just regular walking? Does it sound like stomping? Is that going to bother you? So that's a big one. That's a really big one, because if that drives you nuts, then you might want to consider finding a different place other than a multi-floor complex building. Maybe find something that's all 1 floor, and maybe it's like townhouses where you have first and second floor apartments and you just live next to each other. Number 2, do you get along with most people? How are you with drama? Are you one that likes drama? Are you one that creates drama, or you can't stand drama? Because there is an awful lot of drama in a housing complex. Can you stay to yourself and, just say, meh, don't bother me. I just mind my own business. They can do their own thing. Or do you find yourself getting really aggravated because of all the drama that's happening? You have to ask yourself if you're okay with drama, because believe it or not, even with older people, because I live in an apartment that has all ages, okay, and including children. Even in complexes that are 55 plus or 65 plus, elderly people, us senior people, can create drama too. You don't grow out of it. If you've always liked drama, then most likely you're still going to like drama. That's just my opinion. Number 3. Oh, there's a bug in my coffee. I am dealing with fungus gnats in my plants. I bought a big bag of Miracle-Gro potting soil, and I transplanted all of my plants to bigger pots. It was all well and fine and good for probably the first month or so. And then all of a sudden I started getting these little fungus gnats that are just like infesting. If you have any ideas on what I can do to get rid of these suckers, I've tried peroxide and water. I've tried soapy vinegar and water. I don't even know. I tried a few things, but if you have any suggestions on how to get rid of these things, they're driving us crazy. They're like swarming around us when we're eating and when we're drinking. And please comment below if you have a solution. I will love you forever if I get rid of these things. All right, so let's get back to this. Number 3. Do you have an outside space that's all of your own? Okay. So is this an all one floor complex? Do you have like a little backyard area that you can set up maybe a lawn chair and maybe a little grill or something if you want to grill outside? Do you have your own space outside? Like, that's one thing that I don't like about this building. And there's 3 floors, and there's a main entrance that is locked security doors so that nobody can get in. And when you walk outside those doors, it's parking lot. Okay, there is no place. They get a little kiddie area that has some, like a jungle gym type thing, and a little place for kids to play, and then they have a little place to be able to grow some plants that you have to share with your neighbor. But there's no place to call your own. There's no place to sit. So if that's important to you, you might want to consider that when you're looking at complexes. Number 4, are you allowed to grill? I think this is such a huge one for me and my husband. Before we moved here in the summertime, if it was nice out, we grilled. 99% of the time, we were grilling outside during the spring, summer, and fall months. The only time that we were cooking inside is if it was raining out or high winds. Here, you can't have a grill at all. You have to go up on the other side of the parking lot, just off the property, to be able to grill, and then go store it in storage like we have ours. And that's a pain in the butt. I do not like that. So that is something that you're going to have to find out if you can grill at the housing complex that you are looking into, if that is something that you don't think that you can live without. That might be one of their rules and regulations, their fire regulations, that they don't allow any type of grilling, even hibachis and stuff. So another question to ask yourself before you decide. Number 5, are you allowed to decorate your entrance area? Believe it or not, there's a lot of places that don't allow you to decorate your entrance into your apartment. I have a welcome sign on my door, and then I have a welcome mat in front of my door, and then I have a little statue of a bear that's holding a welcome sign. And anything above and beyond that, you start hearing people complain, and they complain to the real estate company that is managing the building, and it just again causes drama. So find out if you can and what you're allowed, if that is something that is important to you. That is something that's very important to me, because I want to make my apartment feel as homey and welcome as possible, and that includes the entrance to my apartment. It lets people know the type of person that I am. So, number 6, are you susceptible to contagious illnesses? The reason why I ask this is because I could go 2, 3, 4 years without even catching a cold, okay? Moving in here, it's like being in school again. People are getting sick, and once you exit your apartment and you're touching things that everybody else is touching, if they're sick, you're going to get sick. I ended up getting influenza A last winter, and then influenza B, and let me tell you what, it was not fun. I was so sick. I would have to say that influenza A is right up there, if not worse, than the coronavirus, when I had the coronavirus. So if you are one that is already susceptible to illnesses, have a compromised immune system, then you might really want to question moving into a multi-family complex, especially if it has children, because they're going to school and they're bringing it home and they're spreading it. And I keep this, just a little tip, I keep this little bottle of hand sanitizer right by my door, as it's on this little stand, and before I leave, I put some on, because I'm going to be touching the elevator buttons and the handles to, exit the building and then to come back in the building. So hand sanitize, that's a good thing to do. Okay, number 7, is family allowed to stay with you sometimes? If you are one that likes to have a swinging door where family is allowed to stay with you if they're having a hard time in their life and they need some place to stay for a few weeks. And I use my daughter as an example. She was having a difficult time at home and she wanted to get away for a bit. She came and she stayed with me, but I told her that she couldn't stay any more than 7 consecutive days. That is the rules of this building. We are allowed to have someone stay with us for 7 consecutive days, but only for a total of 30 days in a year. So, in the fiscal year of when you rented the apartment. So, that's a pain in the butt. So, my husband and I would have, like I said, a swinging door that we had nephews and nieces and brothers and sisters that, had to get out of their house for one reason or another, being fumigated, or house was being built, and so they had to move out of one place, but the house wasn't ready yet. And sometimes family needs help, but if you're going to live in a housing complex, you might not be able to offer that help. So that's another question for you to ask yourself. Do you want to still have that revolving door for family to come in and out if they need help? Number 8, is there a gym or exercise room or walking area? This place doesn't have any of those things. I so wish that they did. I would be using that exercise room often. I exercise here in the apartment, but it would be nice if there was a little gym that, had treadmill, an exercise bike, maybe an elliptical, some weights. I think that would help a lot of people want to get up and get fit and get healthier in their senior years if they had a facility in the building to be able to do so. Unfortunately, we don't have one. And like if you've watched my videos, one of my videos is come walk with me. And I'm walking in the cemetery. There's a cemetery that is just adjacent to our parking lot, just on the other side of the fence. And that's where I go for my walks, because there isn't any walking area at all that the complex offers. So, another good question to ask yourself. Number 9, do you have too much stuff? Do they have a storage area for you to be able to store some stuff? My husband and I, along with so many other people in this building, have to rent a storage unit off from the property because we have too much stuff for our apartment. And when I say too much stuff, I mean, okay, so we have a grill that we're not allowed to use. We have totes full of just things that we have accumulated over the years that I need to go through and actually read those things out. Holiday stuff, all of the holiday decorations for Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, any holiday that you are really into decorating, where are you keeping all of this stuff? If you're going to move into a retirement home or housing complex, you may be forced to become a minimalist if you do not want to pay extra money out of your budget each month for a storage unit. So this building doesn't offer a place for extra storage, and most retirement homes and housing complexes don't offer extra storage for their tenants. So that's a really big question. Are you willing to become a minimalist and get rid of a lot of your stuff if you have a lot of stuff? Okay. And number 10. This is a really personal question. Are you prejudiced against other races and cultures? Almost every building that you are going to find that is a large housing complex or retirement home is going to have multi-cultures and races in the building. I absolutely love having a multicultural building. I don't like the fact that there is a big lack of communication because they don't speak English well, and I don't speak African French, and I don't speak Arabic. So the communication gap is huge, and it's sad because I would absolutely love to become friends with these people. But if you are a person that does not like at all to be around, people of other races and other cultures, then that is a huge question to ask yourself before you move into a housing complex or a retirement complex, because that is huge, and it would not be fair to those other people if you moved into their building and gave off bad vibes. Okay, just saying. So that's the 10 questions I had for you. Now, don't get me wrong, because me and my husband absolutely love where we are at. We have accepted the sacrifices that we had to make to move into and live in this building. There's some things that we don't like, but we accept because we love the community. We absolutely love everybody in this building. I think there is maybe 2 or 3 out of the 32 apartments that I don't know that well, or just kind of might irritate people a little bit. But 3 out of 32, I mean, come on. That is some fantastic odds in the community that we have here. And if we want to grill bad enough, we can go get our grill out of storage and we can put it up just off the property and, have a nice barbecue day and go bring it back to storage. It's a pain in the butt, but we could make it work. Can't offer my family a swinging door like I did. That's a big one. But there's other places that they can find. And drama, my husband and I just stay out of it. Just, if somebody wants to try to pull us into it, it's like, nope. We're Switzerland. We're neutral. We stay out of it. So, it all depends on who you are as a person. Things to consider, questions to ask yourself. And I hope that this video was helpful. If you know somebody that this might help, then please share this video. And if you have found it to be helpful, then please subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. And give me a thumbs up. If you want to be notified of upcoming videos, then go in, hit the notification bell, and go in and click all to make sure that you get notified of when I upload videos. So until the next video, bye.